So Porsche has been on a roll in India with multiple launches this year and also the huge international experiential event of Porsche World Roadshow. Today we are at the launch of the new Porsche Cayenne Coupe, and we have with us Mr. Pavan Shetty, the Director of Porsche India, who's going to talk us through Porsche Cayenne Coupe and different strategies that Porsche India is going to apply in India. So Mr. Pavan, tell us what is the strategy for Porsche India in this wave of slowdown in the Indian market?
So we don't have a very special strategy for tackling slowdown. We are doing what we've been doing, and we'll keep doing this also for the coming years. Clearly, we are in this market from a long-term perspective. We are in for a marathon and not for a sprint. We are not holding back any launches. The launches in India will follow the world product launches, and one such example is the Cayenne Coupe that we're launching today in a brand new showroom. Cayenne Coupe, as you know, has a different fly line, more closer to a 911 than the Cayenne Ace. It has hugely improved driving dynamics for mainly because of the fly line, which improves aerodynamics. It has an active spoiler which gets activated at 90 kilometers per hour. And of course a slew of standard features like it has a sports chrono package, it has a 20-inch wheel and multiple weight reduction topics that have been implemented in that car. But what really helps the Cayenne Coupe stand out vis-a-vis most other coupes in the market is most other coupes would have to compromise on the headroom of the car, and in a Cayenne Coupe you don't have to do that because the seat is adjusted to make sure that the design is taken care of and the headroom is not compromised. So even a 6 foot tall customer or a passenger can easily enjoy his drive on a Cayenne Coupe. So this is what Cayenne Coupe is all about. We're launching two powertrain versions in it, the V6, which is a 340 horsepower. So a car which is more than 2 tons can do 0 to 100 in just about 6.1 seconds. And a Cayenne Turbo completely astonishes anyone who would imagine the speed of a 2-ton car. It does 0 to 100 in just about 3.9 seconds. And not too far ago, I would remember a lot of fast sports car would brag about this performance figures, and here we have in some years a 2-ton car called Cayenne Coupe delivering the same performance with 4 people in the car.
So Cayenne Hybrid is there, and then the Taycan is coming. So are we going to see any electrification of the Cayenne Coupe?
There is no announcement in that direction, but you're right, electrification is the way to go also for Porsche. One big leap in that direction is the launch of Porsche Taycan, built on an 800 volt architecture. Does again, the performance figures are something that you can always be happy about, say 0 to 100 in just about 2.8 seconds, 761 horsepower, so on and so forth. But in my opinion, I think more than speed in an electric car, what really should matter is how does the car behave. And you know that electric cars are heavy, so in a corner typically there is a tendency to really lose the weight on a certain side. But Taycan completely beats this law of physics, and when you drive a Taycan you can feel that the car is as nimble and agile as a Porsche ought to be. And we also know that in an electric car you can't do launch control continuously. You do 2, 3, 4 times and the car gets tired, and this is also not true for Taycan. You can keep doing launch control like any other Porsche. So I think it's a great job done by our engineers in making sure that the reputation of Porsche stays intact even with the Taycan, and even exceeds it for that matter. Because I've also heard some of experts say that this is the best car they've driven so far, and that I think is an eulogy to a next level to describe the Taycan.
So when do we see the Taycan coming to India?
So Taycan should hit Indian shores by mid of next year. That is the plan, and then the variants will obviously follow. Very exciting times. If somebody were to ask me, say 5 years back, what do you think that would be, and I would be completely blank. But now today we've traveled some distance in that direction. For example, all our dealerships are completely equipped with charging infrastructure. We have tied up with some key locations where we think our customer would be in that vicinity. For example, 5-star hotels, big malls where we have some charging infrastructure. We would give two charging units to our customers any which ways, so they can place one maybe in office and one at home, or their regular travel points, so that they are able to charge. And of course, in all of these, we are also offering consulting to our customers, so that when they apply their charging, it should not affect everything else at home. So there is some devices that we supply and help develop infrastructure, which then that icon becomes a new member in the family seamlessly.
Okay, so with the Porsche Cayenne Hybrid, what kind of traction did you get in terms of sales?
Cars like a Cayenne Hybrid are also a choice of few who really understand or are very clear about what they want. For example, somebody who likes an SUV but doesn't like the fact that or would like to want it to be greener, yeah, but yet powerful. Yeah, I mean, it's really a combination that very few can match. Okay, now a Cayenne comes with the 340 horsepower internal combustion engine, and on top you have the electric unit which gives 110 horsepower. And now e-hybrid, apart from being very efficient and green, is suddenly generating 460 horsepower, 0 to 100 in 5.1 seconds. So the proposition completely changes from being just a green car to an electric car. Maybe if your office is within 40-kilometer radius, you don't need an ICE engine at all, because you can do back and forth within charging. 11 kilowatt charging can charge that car in close to 2.5 hours in India, and I do it on my car. I drive one actually, and it's a completely different proposition altogether. But is it a volume generator? I don't think it's supposed to be that way, because it's a very niche product that we introduce for our customers who are really looking at a different proposition from this product.
Okay, so with the luxury segment, the sales are actually moving to tier 2 and tier 3 cities. So what are your points on this?
I don't think the sales are moving to, at least with Porsche, the sales are not moving to tier 2, tier 3. Metros are still an important contributor, but tier 2 and tier 3 have become important contributors. Let me put it that way. So the smaller cities where always you would rather such a level of information to be there, has started being there now. And when we went more into detail, we realized that these are the people who are staying in tier 2, tier 3 by virtue of their businesses which are settled in these areas. But that doesn't mean they don't travel, that doesn't mean they don't have information, that doesn't mean that they do not know what's happening around in the world. They're as aware or as evolved as a customer in a metro, or even a global customer for that matter. They know what they're getting into, they ask us the right question, they choose the right cars, and we of course help them have a great Porsche experience.
So PWRS was is a huge international experiential event. So now I was a part of it, and what sort of experiential events are planned in future for Indian customers?
So I think Porsche World Roadshow was a huge step from an execution point of view, and I think it was highly appreciated. But I think going forward, we would also like to do some local drive events where instead of having a SUV customer and a sports car customer together, we might want to separate it and bring a sports car customer around BIC, maybe an off-roading an SUV customer somewhere else, and curate a different experience altogether. But on top of that, there are opportunities next year, not in India but outside India, where somebody can really go out and experience ICE driving. Porsche is a completely different ball game also on ICE driving. It's just that what you do on the road and what you do on the ICE are completely opposite to each other. Where you brake, you accelerate. Where you accelerate, you brake. I mean, it's a completely different ball game on an ICE. But what is beautiful is the way a rear-engine car or a mid-engine car or a front-engine sports car from a Porsche behaves even in an ICE environment.
Being a luxury car maker, what are your expectations, or what are your problems with the government policies, the GST or something else?
So I don't have any problem with GST. In fact, GST was a big step in simplification of businesses. It made sure that a lot of money which was stuck in rotation by virtue of VAT has now reduced. It has improved cash flow. It has reduced the cost of operations. And I think when we do business in a particular country, you don't change the rules of the country for your business, but rather you change the business to suit the rules of the country. That is what is my thought process. We are a very niche and small player in this country, and it is not my business to run the policies. And I would assume, we are good at what we do. We are good at selling cars. Somebody is good at making policies. It's good for them, because I might comment whatever I want on policies, but I don't know the facts or the important things basis which these policies are made. Yeah. So I would like to not comment on how the policies should be. I think there are intelligent people who are devising this. But what we are doing within this is, the only way to remain relevant is really push our effort to that one entity called the customer. Make your entire ecosystem to make sure that you make relevant products at relevant prices, and make sure his life is comfortable within a Porsche. I'll give you a small example. For the longest time, we believed that the perception of Porsche was that it might be really difficult to own. Yeah, and that's when we launched for the first time a maintenance package on the Macan, the elite package, which even includes a pair of tires and a 4-year service, which is the most biggest contributor in that cost only 5.5 lakhs. And I'm talking wiper blades, tires, maintenance of that car for 4 years cost only 5.5 lakhs. And if you check this price with some of the other brands, you would realize that it's more or less same. We are one of the few brands who are willing to offer up to 9 years of warranty globally. And this goes to say how much do we value our own products and how confident we are about the quality of our products.
So now talking about Macan, how has the traction been for Macan? Because it's a smaller car and it is more performance oriented.
So it is a compact SUV. It's again meeting a customer who drives to his work almost every day. So the beauty of what we did around this car was, we made it relevant to a very important segment in India, which is the working class. The vice presidents or the CXOs in companies who always dream about, they work very hard, and they always dreamt about having a car which again gives them a distinct identity of who they are. They are achievers in their own field of life. They are not any less to any businessman in India, and I think we are very happy to be associated with that class of working professionals, and we try to build an ecosystem around them. For example, the Porsche maintenance package was only developed for us to give them a peace of mind. So you're not just buying a great value proposition car, but also you make sure that the next 4 years with the car are with complete peace of mind. 5 things that you think are the USPs of the Cayenne. So I think the first thing that will catch your attention as soon as you see the car will be the sloping roofline, and which also resonates with the name coupe. Very close to 911, very sleek design, improved aerodynamics, and when you move towards the back, apart from the beautiful shape that it shows, you'll also notice that there are active spoilers, and these get actuated automatically at the upward speed of 90 kilometers per hour, and they completely reduce the coefficient of drag, thus making the car completely grounded even at high speeds and improved braking abilities. And then when you get inside the car on the rear seat, you would expect it to give you a compromised headroom, and you realize that this is not different from the Cayenne at all. And this is where it's a big stride in terms of making the rear passengers comfort, giving them a great driving pleasure. What we've done is we also reduced the seat level by 3 centimeter. The car height is reduced by 2 centimeter. Thus, the customer is a lot more at ease even at the rear seat. Then the car is wider, it's shorter, and hence the CG, the center of gravity, is highly improved, and also the driving dynamics, the cornering abilities are so much better. And then when you get into the cockpit area, which is the steering area, you realize that there is a sports chrono package which is standard on this car. You'll find that the car has a very muscular stance. That's also because it has a 20-inch wheels now, and on the Cayenne it was only 19-inch as standard. Then when you look up, you realize that it's a full glass panoramic roof. This comes standard with this car. There is no longer an option to take a fixed roof car, but it gives an option of having a carbon fiber roof, which gives you a weight reduction of close to 20 kg. Apart from that, there are different sports packages with multiple color options, multiple wheel options, and you can really customize this car to your choice.
Start with the pricing and tell us when can the buyers actually get it?
So the pricing of the Cayenne V6 is 1 crores 31 lakhs and 50,000 rupees. The pricing of the Cayenne Coupe Turbo is 1 crore 97 lakhs and 35,000 rupees. And the customers can now book the car, they can configure the car, and they can get their deliveries in the coming months.
So now last question, who do you think is the target customer for the Cayenne Coupe?
So if you see the tagline of this car, it's called shaped by performance. Yeah. So this is the segment that we're looking at. Very clearly, somebody who is very sporty, also has a personality, not necessarily playing sport, but somebody who focuses on himself, somebody who believes in enough activity in life, somebody who's more outdoor, somebody who is traveling for work, and somebody who likes good things in life and focuses not just on his body but also how he looks, how he or she looks. And I think these are great personalities who match the personality of Cayenne Coupe. And I think there is a segment, there is a nice segment, and more so in Delhi, that this car fits in very well.
So tell us about the prices and when can the customers actually get?
The price, the national price, ex-showroom price of the Cayenne Coupe V6 is 1 crore 31 lakhs, and the Cayenne Coupe Turbo is 1 crore 97 lakhs. And the customers can book their, obviously, I mean, whatever options you choose would be slightly above this. The customer can choose their cars, design their cars, and wait for deliveries in the coming months.
That was Mr. Pavan Shetty talking to us about the strategies of Porsche India and the new Cayenne Coupe. Keep watching Business World and BW Auto World for more such interesting content.